Good afternoon and welcome to Simply Local San Diego. I'm Brad Weber with Local Umbrella Media. Glad you could be with us today. We're at the beautiful IQ Podcast Studios in Coronado, California, with some of my favorite people and a return guest, Miss Tammy Oluvic.
Yes,
Did I
you
get
said
that
it
right?
correct.
With
Yes, you
Saddles
did.
and Service, and we also have Brandon. Brandon, say your last name because I'm going to
It's
screw it.
Patro,
Brandon
but I go by
Petro.
Taylor.
But he goes by Taylor.
Taylor. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm
Four
shocked
times.
you knew that
was our
name.
last guest.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll forget I said that. So Taylor
It's okay.
Petro. I
Yeah.
was so worried about your last name, I forgot his
Oh,
first
that's all
name.
right.
Anyway, Saddles and Service is an amazing organization. I've known about you for over a couple years. We've
Yes.
sponsored a couple golf tournament fundraisers, and
Mhm.
one of the things we're going to talk about not only what you do for people like Taylor and what you both do together for others, our veterans and things like that. But you have a November 4th gala coming up, and it's a fundraiser, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You have some great special entertainment and guests. So
Yes.
let's talk about Saddles and Service for people that don't know what you do. Tell us, what the mission is, how you do it. It's certainly, as the name implies, includes horses. And
Yes.
tell us what the horses and the staff there does for
All
people.
right. All right. So, our mission is to combat the suicide rates of our veterans and first responders. I think it's now the statistics say about 17 veterans a day commit suicide. And the number of first responders has just been rising through the roof as well.
Mm.
I believe the statistics show also that more first responders died by suicide last year than on the job.
Wow.
And
Disturbing.
so it is. And so for me, I know a lot of people don't want to say the word suicide, right?
Mhm.
It's not a nice word,
Yeah.
right? It's at all.
I have to say it. Yeah.
And I guess maybe a year ago, I went to our board and I said, you know what? We have to put that in our mission statement. It can't be just this beautiful little mission statement. It has to say this is the problem, and we're going to help address it in any way we can. And I know I was speaking with our videographer who's doing our video for our gala.
Mhm.
And he said, he told me to think of a few things for the video, what I'm going to say. And one thing that really struck me was when we first started, Mike and I, my husband spent 25 years in the Navy. And when we started Saddles and Service, we paid for everything. Everything was out of our pocket. Yeah. And so I always said, you know what, if we just save just one life, it's worth all the pain and suffering, because it was difficult at first. Starting a nonprofit with horses is instant overhead.
Yeah.
So I guess I wasn't smart when I said, hey, I want to help.
Well,
I don't know. But no, I wouldn't change anything. But now I'm like, you know what? That's not enough anymore. It's not enough.
Yeah.
That's not where I am anymore. It's how can we help make a difference in these numbers and these statistics? Right. And obviously we're just one foundation, but we're working hard to be able to accommodate people from out of state. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But so we partner our veterans and first responders, and we call them all heroes because they're right. All heroes. And when I say veterans, that also includes our active duty military members as well.
Right.
And so for me, what we do is sorry, I just lost my train of thought there for a second. But we partner them with horses. And so our whole goal, it's not just like therapeutic riding. It's not, therapy in the sense of therapy. Well, the horses are the therapists.
Yes.
But we teach them horsemanship, and we're teaching them everything from the predator-prey relationship with a human and a horse, all the way up to how to move cattle and how to work with your horse and partner with your horse in moving cattle. And
right.
You forget everything else when it's just you and your horse doing that cattle work. It's like, it's amazing the feel and how you feel inside, And so our whole program is just based on horsemanship.
Right.
And, when they graduate from our program, which for some people it could take 6 months, some people could take a year, year and a half, who knows? Everyone's different.
Mm.
But we send them up to Wyoming for a week. And you saw all of our
I
pictures up
certainly
there
did.
in
I was
Wyoming.
jealous. It's so beautiful out there. So.
And we have our general manager is up there in Shell, Wyoming.
Mhm.
And we send them up there for a week, and they are moving cattle in the Bighorn Mountains up there.
Wow.
And I will tell you, because I did this 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, when we were filming for a TV show. It's no joke. It is no joke. I mean, we were in the saddle, 5-6 hours a
Mhm.
day, and you were just in some of the most beautiful country I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And we were going down some scary things. For me, they were scary.
Well,
And it had rained, the day before, so it was a little muddy. And the first thing, we get on the horses the first day we're there. And Tom, our general manager, is like, all right, just follow me. And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go.
Mhm.
And instantly we're going down this, like, I don't know, 20, 30 foot hill that it's steep. And I'm going, whoa, wait, I need to breathe for a second. Hold on a minute, right? Let me get my breathing in.
Yeah.
But there was no waiting. I mean,
Yeah.
there was cattle that we had to find.
Once you're on
And
the
so
job, you do the job, right?
I tell you, it was a challenge, but it was so rewarding. And for some of our military members,
Mhm.
what we tell them is, hey, here's your mission. You're going to prepare and get ready for this amazing, challenging adventure. And that's how they look at it.
Yeah.
And they love it.
I'm sure they do.
And they love being cowboys.
So Saddles
What
and
can I
Service
say?
in San Diego is based in Alpine, and you opened,
Yes.
what year did you open?
2017 with our
2017,
very
so
first veteran.
5 years or past 5 years
Yeah.
now. And so you have Wyoming, Shell, Wyoming
Mhm.
is just opened fairly
That-
recently.
Last year was our
Last
first
year?
season that we
And you have another one in Texas, right? Isn't it
yes,
Austin area?
Elkhart,
Elkhart.
Texas. So I think
Okay.
it's in between Dallas and Houston, Austin.
I'm not sure where
I'm not
Elkhart
sure. Near
is.
College Station.
Okay.
I know that.
Yeah. Okay, great. So
Yes.
expanding, growing, and obviously you're doing
Yes.
wonderful work and people are getting behind you, and we needed more people local people here in San Diego to come out and support at the gala or any other
Yes.
way they can. But
Yes.
it's how do you find your heroes? I mean, how do they either find you or how do you find them, the next person that comes out and
Right.
gets helped?
Right now it's been word of mouth.
Okay.
And we are overwhelmed with the number of veterans and first responders applying for our
Okay.
program.
In a good way.
Yes,
course,
yes,
yeah.
yes, in a very good way. But I mean, we serve anywhere from 30 to 50 a week
In San Diego or
in
all-
San
oh,
Diego,
really?
just in
Okay.
San Diego
Wow.
alone. And so, yeah, I mean, God just keeps bringing us, and it's just been so beautiful. And a lot of our guys who go through our program, they become wranglers.
Mhm.
After they've done the Wyoming, they still want to give back. And so now they're teaching
Great.
these
Building
new
your
heroes
family
coming
and
in.
the-
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So Taylor, you
Mhm.
how'd you find Saddles and Service?
Yes. So I actually found Saddles and Service by means of word of mouth. I had moved into the area almost 2 years ago now. I had lived in the city, downtown San Diego, and I
Mhm.
slowly started to migrate out east. And so I went from Spring Valley out to Descanso, right around the corner from where
Mhm.
we are at. And my neighbor was telling me right when I first moved in, she was like, I know of a ranch around the corner from here that does something with heroes. I don't know anything about it, but I have a friend who works there. She helps out, and I would love to introduce you at some point. So she introduced me, and immediately this person was like, I would love to bring you out there. You would be a great fit. And my previous experience with horses was like almost non-existent. When I was a kid, I was bucked off of a horse. So I was
That'll do it.
very,
Yeah.
I was a little like hesitant, but when I heard about it, I was like, absolutely, like being a veteran, I would love to be able to, help in some way, do something. So I decided to come out. And of course, in my mind, I was expecting it to be run by like a bunch of rough and tough
Mhm.
cowboys. That's what
Yeah.
I was expecting. And, it's kind of amazing that like it is run by predominantly females,
Mhm.
very amazing women that, they put their hearts out there every day. And, after I had moved out there and I had found this program, the first day I moved into the area, I was like, I felt like God had brought me to a place where I was living for a specific reason, but I had no idea. I just felt it in my heart. And then I found the ranch and it really kind of all came together for me. I was like, I think this is what I am meant to do. And so I started volunteering about, I think 3 days a week. I started
Yeah.
coming out and I had my riding day. And then the other few days I would come out as a ranch hand and help with chores and stuff. And eventually Tammy and I became really good friends and she had invited me to help her out as her assistant. And so I took on that role and I was in the office with her, helping her out with some of our stuff that we needed to get sorted out. And it kind of evolved. I became the safety officer because I have a really good eye for seeing things and noticing things. And so I became the safety officer, just keeping everyone really safe. Safety is
Yeah.
our number one priority.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
big deal with
mean,
horses
yeah.
around. 'cause
Yes,
they can be
you're
dangerous
working with
animals.
huge creatures. And for me personally, you know, from having that, you know, being bucked off as a kid, when I first got out there, I was a little nervous because I was around big animals I'd never been around. But I eventually, you know, I got really comfortable. It became second nature. You know, you get to work with such majestic creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had told me when I was in my younger 20s that I was going to be working with horses as an adult, I would have been like, wow, okay, like that's crazy. It was a really beautiful and unexpected surprise. But
And the horse he became closest with, let's just put that out there, is
Yeah.
the tallest, biggest horse there
Oh.
is. He's a big,
That's
huge
one of the draft
Clydesdale.
horses.
yes, the
Yes.
Okay,
Clydesdale, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blue is
So-
my
I know
favorite.
that horse. Which one is it?
Yes. Blue.
Blue. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been out there. Full
Oh,
disclosure,
nice.
I've been out and
Awesome.
Yes.
seen the operation in action. Also seen the looks. I've seen the looks in the veterans you're helping,
Yeah.
and how you know, just how deeply it's affecting them in a good way. So
Yes.
Mhm.
it's pretty special if you have a chance. I don't know if the public can come out and visit or if you have visitation days or you don't want to do that. But
we'd rather just like
Yeah.
if they contact us, you know, we'll do something like
Yeah.
that. But we really like to keep it, you know, a sanctuary for
Yeah.
our veterans and first
Got it.
responders. And so, you know, if somebody wants to come tour or wants to come visit, you know, I'll speak with them and
Okay.
and see.
Well, don't drive out
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
show
don't
up.
drive
but,
out. Yeah, no.
But when I first heard about you, it was through Michael Geyer's movie.
Yes.
Forgot to remind me the
Um,
name of the movie.
The
Oh,
Wounded,
boy.
was it Wounded
Wounded
Warriors?
Heroes.
Wounded Heroes, yes.
Wounded Heroes.
Yeah, there's a
Goodness.
documentary, Wounded Heroes, about
Yes.
not just saddles and service, but it's about veterans and brain injuries and that type of thing, and how
Yes.
you know, what therapies are out there to actually help and change lives and all
Right.
that, and saddles and service is a big part of it. So that's how I was
Yes.
introduced to you, and also my wife has a horse, so I'm
Right.
connected through the
That's
horse
awesome.
people too. But
And you know what? The person who told him about saddles and service is the same person who told your wife about us
Oh,
is
nice.
Lisa.
okay,
It's
Yeah.
the same. That's
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So small world, and
Yeah.
word of mouth does work. It's
Yes.
Sure does.
for important things like
And you
this.
know, I have to make a comment too about what Taylor had said when he first came out. He thought it was going to be all these, you know, cowboys, and you know, was surprised it was mainly women.
Mhm.
And we have a San Diego police officer. She just started our program a while back, and that's what she was worried about. She was like, "It's going to be all
Bunch of
men.
guys, yeah.
It's going to be, you know." And she came in and she was like, "Wow." She was, "I'm really surprised. Yes, we have men as well as wranglers,
Yeah.
but we're mostly women."
Mhm.
And so, you know, I think that is something people don't realize, that, you know, just because it's horsemanship and we're teaching cattle work, it's mostly women who are
Mhm.
teaching all this. But we
Yeah.
do, like I said, we do have men, like Dave Vikander,
Yeah.
you know, a Vietnam veteran.
Mhm.
And so we have a San Diego police officer who's also one of our wranglers. He's awesome. So
Great. Yeah, well, it's a great group of people out there. And back to this, if you want to learn more about it, obviously, I can watch Wounded Heroes. I think it's on Netflix, or you can. I'm
Yeah,
sure you can rent it.
It
just
was
about anywhere.
just bought. It was purchased by Fox Nation.
Oh my gosh!
So now
okay.
it's being seen like everywhere, and it's pretty cool.
Well, I know Michael's
that-
gone great, but I'm following
Oh,
him, and he's
yes.
an unbelievable director.
He's
So
he's now on this mission, really, to save lives,
Yeah.
and he truly is.
yeah,
I get the chills.
It's a miracle. He's what he's doing out
And
there.
you know,
for people.
from his documentary, we were introduced to Jay Garstecki, who does Operation Outdoor Freedom. It used to be Operation Fishing Freedom, and they would take out veterans and fish and just hear their stories. And so he contacted us and said, hey, I want to get you, on my show. So he came out and filmed for an episode, and we taught him how to work cattle. But it was a blast. We had a great time. And through him, the Jans Valor Foundation gave us money to build a bunkhouse because he saw the need for our program and just saw what it was doing for our veterans and first responders when he was out there. So now, pretty soon, not yet, we'll be able to bring people from out of state, because we have people applying for our program all over the nation. And we have to tell them, I'm so sorry, I don't have a place yet for you to stay. Right now,
they have to, if they live here in San Diego, they have to drive out.
Right. And they usually come out once a week.
Okay, once a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some come out multiple times a week, and some even come out one day for a program and the other day is just to volunteer and give back.
Great.
So, awesome. Our service members and, our first responders, I mean, they all have this
it's in their nature.
Giving spirit.
to serve, right?
To serve,
yeah. And so then for them to give back even, it's awesome.
Yeah. Great.
It's awesome.
Well, we have this big event. Let's talk about the event. You've had a couple golf tournament fundraisers, which are a lot of fun and do a lot of good, but this is something new for you. Tell us where it's November 4th.
November 4th.
And it is at Viejas.
Casino.
Yeah, easy to
Viejas,
find.
Resort and Casino, and it's in their big ballroom. Our very first gala was before COVID, and we had it at the ranch, and it was beautiful. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. We had the Hole in the Wall gang there. They had their jail, so they'd arrest people, and guys, you have to give a donation to get out. I think I was arrested first. I think I was. My husband did a warrant for my arrest for smelling the saddles. I don't know where that came from. So I was arrested first, and then someone had to post bail and make a donation. But our first one was at the ranch, and I think we had about 150 people because it's can't have too many people with parking and everything. So this year we said, let's do it at Viejas. And so it's our first one off the ranch. We have Amy Scruggs is our host, and she's going to sing.
Becoming a big star. I mean, she already was, but she's hitting some home runs out there.
And she's such a beautiful woman, inside and out, right? I love her. And, we went to high school together. Yeah. Well, actually, I went to high school with her brother.
Right.
She went to high school with my brother, so she's younger than me. And but so we've known each other for quite some time.
So Amy Scruggs will be performing at the event.
That's
a reason to go.
And then we just filmed, like I was saying, 2 weeks ago in Wyoming for a show called Making Good. And the host is Kirby Hayborn. And he was like, I'm really moved by what you guys are doing. After he interviewed Kyle, he's one of our law enforcement heroes. And then Tom, our general manager, who's also an Army veteran, and Mike, he said, I'm just so impressed with what you guys are doing. So he sent me a text last week and said, I want to come to the gala. Can my wife and I come? So he's flying out.
Wow.
He's going to sing a song that he wrote for us that made us all cry. And it's, you don't have to ride alone. And so, and that now has become a tagline for Saddles and Service, because that's exactly, that's what we are. We're a place where people find connection again. And so he's going to be there. We have Sean Kelly, who's our auctioneer. Oh, what a great guy. He's a super funny guy. Army veteran. Him and his wife actually met in Iraq. They were both active duty in Iraq and met. And then he went on to do Storage Hunters. And I think he's about to do another show too. I think he's just signing on for another show.
Nice.
So he will be there. And I'm hoping, I was interviewed the other day with John and Tammy in the morning on KSOM. And Tammy spoke to me afterwards and said, hey, do you still need someone for your event. So we're in talks. So hopefully she'll be there. We'll see.
Oh,
We'll
good.
see how that works out. But
Cool.
and then the James Kelly Band. And
Oh.
they played at our very first gala as well. They're
great.
awesome.
Great. And it's what times it start? It starts, it doesn't
It's
say here.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Now,
And
5
that's
o'clock is a
Saturday
pre-party.
or Sunday? That's
Friday. It's a
Friday.
Friday.
Okay, Friday night.
Yes, it's November 4th, Friday night. It starts at 6 o'clock. Tickets are $150.
Mhm.
It's full dinner, dancing, live auction, silent auction.
Yeah.
And one of our live auction items is 5 days in Montana with 2 days dog sledding and airline voucher. It's gonna be
Wow.
I already know there's so many people already saying, okay, so that's going to be mine. Like I'm bidding on that.
Yeah.
But we have some really
Yes.
great, we have Pac-12 championship game tickets
Mhm.
and hotel stay in Vegas
Nice.
with
Wow.
dinner included, all kinds of stuff included with that package. So we have some
Great.
really cool items.
Great. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's $150 for a ticket,
Mhm.
nonprofit, right? It's
Yes.
all tax deductible donations.
And you were saying the
And-
5 p.m.? 5
Oh
p.m.
yeah,
is-
so 5 p.m. is a pre-party for our top 2 sponsors,
Okay.
and they get to come in for a cocktail hour with veterans and first responders and get to meet with them firsthand. And
Okay.
so that's a little special thing we did for our top sponsors.
Nice.
And so 6 o'clock is when it actually opens.
Actually opens. Okay, great.
Yes.
Well, there's going to be some information on your website. It's scrolling
Yes.
across there, but we'll tell it. It's saddlesinservice.org, correct?
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
website. So you can find out details, information, whether you go to the gala or not, you can donate there, but it would
Yes.
be a great
Yeah.
opportunity to get to know a little bit more about Saddles and Service and the great work they
Yes.
do. And it's just a wonderful organization. You know, I've heard so many good things since I've
Yes.
met you from other people about, you know, what
Yeah.
the results and the fun people
Oh, it's
have.
been
and,
amazing.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. And you know, I think something some people don't realize, we have no executive salaries.
Yep.
Right. So I'm not paid.
Right.
But that's okay. I get paid in joy and
Right.
you know, just everything
And I say this a
see.
lot because we do a lot of nonprofits because we love to
Yeah.
support them, and there are different ones, and some there's a lot of overhead that goes to you know, how much of that money goes to the actual people that need the help, and you're one of the
Right.
ones that
Yes.
doesn't skim off the top. This, if you spend $1 with that Saddles and Service, it's going to go
98% goes
98%.
directly into the program.
Yeah.
And it's actually less than 2% are our administrative
Yeah.
costs.
Got it.
So, I mean, because for me, you know, my son's a cop, my husband's a veteran.
Mhm.
You know what? We want to give and do as much as we can.
Yeah.
And that's what's important.
Right. Yeah. So help a great organization out. Have some fun on November 4th.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Join us.
Saddlesinservice.org.
Yes.
Come out and, you know, we'll have it's a beautiful trip out there. If you're from San Diego, go out
Yes.
east. A lot of people never get out to East County like
know,
they should. And
huh?
it's just gorgeous out there.
It's so
It's a hidden
gorgeous.
secret. It's just God's country out there. It's
Mm.
just
Really
gorgeous.
is.
Very
So
much.
take a trip to Viejas, November
Mhm.
4th. Tammy, thanks for so much for all you do and for being with us today.
Yeah.
And
Thank
Taylor,
you.
I'm sorry about screwing up
Yes.
your name, but
It's okay. That's
come
all
meet
right.
Tammy, come meet Taylor
Yes.
and the rest of the crew
Absolutely.
and a lot of the
Yes.
veterans that have been helped. So
Yeah.
thanks again. See you all on November
Thank you.
4th. I'll be there.
Thank you.
That's our show today, Simply Local San Diego. I do want to thank our sponsors, Attorney King, of course, Sequan Casino, and IB Fitness. And that's a wrap. See you on November 4th, Saddles and Service. Bye-bye.